The latest episode of The Wheel of Time has delivered a stunning mix of character revelations, power struggles, and deep foreshadowing. Every decision made by the characters seems to be pulling them further into a web of fate that is spiraling toward an unavoidable clash. The events of this episode have not only set the stage for dramatic future developments, but also revealed hidden layers of motivations, betrayals, and conflicts among the Forsaken, the Aes Sedai, and our heroes. This second part of the breakdown dives deeper into every moment of the episode, exploring what it means for the characters and what lies ahead in the near future. The mystery of the Shackled Man. The introduction of the Shackled Man has opened up a storyline that could have major implications for the future of the series. This mysterious figure, a male channeler controlled by a collar and 2 bracelets, is a weapon of unimaginable power waiting to be unleashed. Liandrin's possession of one of the bracelets suggests that the Black Ajah may have been planning to use this man for their own purposes, but the fact that the second bracelet and collar are still missing makes the situation even more dangerous. If these objects fall into the wrong hands, they could be used to enslave an immensely powerful channeler, possibly even Rand himself. The race to find the missing pieces is likely to become one of the most critical battles in the coming episodes. If the Forsaken manage to retrieve the full set, they could use it to gain control over a dangerous force that could tip the balance of power in their favor. On the other hand, if Nynaeve, Elaine, or Mat succeed in securing the collar first, they might be able to free the Shackled Man and turn him into an ally against the Shadow. One possibility that cannot be ignored is that Rand himself might become the intended target of this device. The Forsaken have long sought ways to control the Dragon Reborn, and if they manage to subjugate him through the collar, it would spell disaster for the forces of light. The power of Lanfear's warning. Lanfear's dominance over Tel'aran'rhiod, the world of dreams, allows her to manipulate events in ways others cannot. By choosing to deliver this warning personally within Moiraine's dream, she ensures that her words carry the full weight of her presence. She does not merely send a message through intermediaries. She invades Moiraine's subconscious, demonstrating her power and control. The very act of entering Moiraine's dream so effortlessly is an assertion of superiority, showing that Moiraine is vulnerable even in her own mind. Her phrasing is particularly telling. She does not explain what the little surprise is leaving Moiraine, and the audience on edge. This calculated vagueness serves a dual purpose. It instills fear and uncertainty while reinforcing Lanfear's control over the situation. Moiraine, who is usually the one orchestrating plans in secret, now finds herself in the dark, waiting for the inevitable. What could Lanfear be planning? Lanfear's intentions are never simple, and her threats are always layered with deeper meaning. The little surprise she alludes to could take multiple forms, each carrying dire consequences for Moiraine, Rand, and their allies. One possibility is that Lanfear intends to introduce another Forsaken into the battle. Up until now, she has operated largely alone, manipulating events and influencing Rand's path. Yet she is calling upon another of the Forsaken, perhaps Moghedien, known for her mastery of the world of dreams, or Samael, a ruthless tactician. It could mean an escalation in hostilities. The Forsaken, though individually powerful, are also fiercely competitive. If Lanfear is bringing in an ally, it could signal that she sees Moiraine and her companions as more formidable than she initially believed. Another, more chilling possibility is that Lanfear is setting a trap for Rand. She has already demonstrated an obsessive interest in him, believing him to be Lews Therin reborn. Yet she is taking a more aggressive approach. This could mean a direct confrontation designed to either win him over or break him entirely. Given her ability to manipulate dreams, it is possible that she has woven an elaborate deception to lure Rand into a false sense of security, only to strike when he least expects it. However, the most likely target of Lanfear's surprise is Egwene. Her frustration with Moiraine for failing to keep Egwene away from Rand suggests that she sees the young woman as a significant obstacle. Egwene, strong-willed and independent, is one of the few characters who cannot be easily controlled. If Lanfear views her as a threat to her plans, she may be preparing to eliminate her before Egwene's influence on Rand grows even stronger. Whether this means an outright attack, a psychological assault within Tel'aran'rhiod, or a more insidious form of manipulation, the consequences could be devastating. Moiraine's growing desperation. Moiraine has always been a step ahead of most players in the game, but this episode showed that she is beginning to lose control of the situation. Her meeting with Lanfear in Tel'aran'rhiod was a stark reminder of just how much power she is up against. For the first time, we see genuine fear for Moiraine. The vision she saw in Ruidian, her own death, has clearly shaken her. She has always been willing to risk everything for the greater good, but now she is faced with the terrifying reality that she may not survive this battle. Lanfear's cryptic warning about a surprise for Rand has put Moiraine in a difficult position. She knows she must protect him, but Lanfear has made it clear that she does not want her interference. This forces Moiraine to make a choice. Does she risk everything to warn Rand, even if it means openly defying Lanfear, or does she stand aside and hope that Rand is strong enough to face whatever is coming? Her actions in the next episode could define the future of the entire battle. If she chooses to confront Rand, she may end up pushing him even further away. If she remains silent, she risks letting Lanfear tighten her grip around him. Egwene's growing power. Egwene has been struggling to find a way to fight against Lanfear in Tel'aran'rhiod, the world of dreams, where the Forsaken holds immense power. The Wise Ones have warned her that in this realm, Lanfear is nearly invincible. However, they also revealed a crucial piece of knowledge. Egwene's power in her own dream can be even greater than Lanfear's if she learns how to control it. This revelation suggests that Egwene is on the path to becoming one of the most powerful dreamwalkers in history. Her training in controlling the dream world could become the key to defeating Lanfear, but it will require her to master a skill that few have ever truly understood. Her confrontation with Rand in this episode adds another layer to her journey. Lanfear is attempting to manipulate Egwene into believing that Rand has betrayed her, planting seeds of doubt and anger. Egwene's feelings of frustration and abandonment could push her into making impulsive decisions, but if she can move past her emotions and focus on her training, she may become the only one capable of stopping Lanfear's reign in Tel'aran'rhiod. Matt Campbell and the Return of the Horn. Matt's journey in this episode has taken him deeper into the underworld of Tenchiko, where he has been using his cunning and charm to gather information. His ability to manipulate people through gambling and persuasion has proven invaluable, but it has also drawn unwanted attention. His reunion with Tom Merrilin was a crucial moment, as Tom immediately warned him to stay away from Leandrin. Matt, however, has never been one to listen to warnings, and his search for the missing bracelet and collar has only put him in greater danger. By acquiring the second bracelet, Matt briefly held a piece of immense power in his hands. However, before he could make use of it, Moiraine intervened and took it from him, once again leaving him at a disadvantage. This setback may force Matt to seek an alternative means of fighting back, and with the growing threat of war, the Horn of Valor could soon come back into play. With chaos brewing across the land, Matt's destiny may soon push him toward fulfilling the prophecies surrounding the Horn. If the forces of darkness continue to gain power, the time may come he will be forced to call upon the legendary heroes of the past to fight once more. Rand's tragic growing power. Rand's increasing connection to the One Power has made him both stronger and more unstable. His ability to wield immense magic is undeniable, but his control over it is slipping. The death of Alcera, the young Io girl, was a turning point for him. In a moment of desperation, he tried to bring her back to life using the One Power, an act that could have had disastrous consequences. This moment highlights Rand's growing recklessness. His grief over Alcera's death nearly drove him to break the natural order, something that could have led him down a very dark path. Moiraine's intervention saved him from making a mistake he could never undo, but the fact that he was even willing to attempt such an act shows how dangerously close he is to losing control. Rand's actions in this episode foreshadow a future where his power may become as much of a threat as a tool. If he continues to struggle with his emotions and his connection to the One Power, he may soon find himself standing at the edge of madness. The road ahead. Move more aggressively with Ravin, Moiraine, and Lanfear, all vying for control. The battle for the Shackled Man, the rise of Egwene's dreamwalking power, Mat's growing connection to the Horn of Valor, and Rand's struggle with his own power are all converging toward an inevitable conflict. The next episodes will likely bring even greater battles, betrayals, and revelations. The forces of light must find a way to unite before the Forsaken take full control, or they risk being overrun by the darkness. The wheel continues to turn, and the fate of the world hangs in the balance. The brewing conflict between the Forsaken. One of the most compelling developments in this episode is the growing tension among the Forsaken. With Ishamael dead, the remaining Forsaken are left scrambling for dominance, each with their own plans and ambitions. Lanfear and Moiraine have already demonstrated their ability to manipulate and control events from the shadows, but the introduction of Raven into the power struggle adds a dangerous new dynamic. Lanfear, for all her power, seems to be growing more desperate. She is playing a dangerous game by confronting Liandrin and questioning her loyalty. Her desire to isolate Rand from everyone who could challenge her influence, whether it be Egwene, Moiraine, or even other Forsaken, shows that she is deeply insecure about her hold on him. If Lanfear were truly confident in her ability to control Rand, she wouldn't need to eliminate every potential threat around him. This suggests that, despite her formidable strength, she knows there is a chance she could lose. Raven, meanwhile, remains in the shadows for now, but his name being mentioned in this episode signals that he will soon make his move. Unlike Ishamael, who was deeply philosophical and played a long game, Raven is far more direct. He is a master manipulator who prefers to control kingdoms rather than act from the shadows. His potential influence over the Black Aja could make him a major threat, not just to Rand, but also to the entire world of the Wheel of Time. Moiraine's presence is another wild card in this growing conflict. She has already demonstrated her terrifying ability to dominate others, and her manipulation of none even Elaine is a stark reminder of how dangerous she can be. The fact that she was able to take the bracelet from Nynaeve, despite her resistance, hints at just how much of a gap there still is between the heroes and the Forsaken. Moiraine's use of compulsion magic to wipe their memories shows that she is playing an extremely calculated game. She doesn't just want to kill them, she wants to control them. The internal conflicts among the Forsaken will likely escalate in the coming episodes, while they are all working toward the same goal, the victory of the Shadow. Each of them has different methods and personal ambitions that could bring them into direct conflict with each other. Lanfear's warning to Liandrin about turning the Forsaken against each other could very well be foreshadowing a civil war within the Shadow's ranks. Egwene's emotional with Rand. Egwene's confrontation with Rand in this episode was one of the most emotionally charged moments so far. The growing distance between them is not just a matter of physical separation, but a deep ideological and emotional divide. Rand believes that Egwene no longer cares about him, seeing her obsession with training under the Wise Ones as proof that she has moved on. From his perspective, it feels like she is abandoning him at a time when he needs support the most. Egwene, on the other hand, sees Rand's growing detachment and erratic behavior as signs that he is losing himself. She already fears that he is going mad from the One Power, and his cold attitude toward her only reinforces those fears. Lanfear, of course, is exploiting this divide by planting the idea in Egwene's mind that Rand has known about her suffering all along and done nothing to stop it. She is ensuring that Egwene begins to see Rand as an enemy rather than an ally. This emotional distance between Rand and Egwene is setting up a much larger conflict down the road. If Egwene continues to believe that Rand is beyond saving, she may come to the conclusion that he needs to be stopped before he becomes a danger to the world. This could put her on a collision course with Moiraine, Nynaeve, and even Perrin, who may still believe that Rand can be saved. At the same time, Rand's continued isolation is making him more vulnerable to the influence of the Forsaken. If he begins to feel that the only person who truly understands him is Lanfear, he may become more susceptible to her manipulations. The White Cloak threat and Perrin's burden of leadership. While much of this episode focused on the conflicts between the Forsaken and the Aes Sedai, another major threat is looming on the horizon: the White Cloaks. The revelation that new White Cloak forces are moving toward Two Rivers suggests that Perrin will soon be forced into a direct confrontation with them. For now, he has been focused on his personal struggles and his growing connection with Fael, but the time for peace is running out. Perrin's journey has always been about finding balance between his human side and his wolf side, between peace and violence, between leadership and reluctance. But as the White Cloak threat grows, he will have no choice but to step into a role that he has long avoided. The fact that Fael and the Isle Girls are already discussing Perrin leading a war against the White Cloaks shows that others around him are beginning to recognize his potential as a leader. The question is, will Perrin accept this role, or will he continue to resist his destiny? His recent confession about accidentally killing Layla is a major turning point. This is a wound he has carried for a long time, and by finally opening up to Fael, he is beginning to confront the past rather than running from it. If he can fully accept who he is and what he has done, he may finally be able to embrace his role as a leader and protector of his people. The Shadow's plan and the path forward. Everything in this episode is building toward a massive confrontation. The Forsaken are moving their pieces into position, the White Cloaks are gathering strength, and the heroes are being pushed to their limits. Magadian's theft of the bracelet suggests that she has her own plans that even Lanfear may not be aware of. If she gains full control over the shackled man, she could unleash a new weapon against the light. Rand's fragile mental state continues to be a source of concern. His attempt to bring Ulcera back to life was not only a reckless use of the One Power, but also a sign that he is starting to believe he can defy the natural order itself. If he continues down this path, he may become the very thing he fears, another male channeler consumed by madness. Egwene's training in Tel'aran'rhiod will be key in the coming battles. If she can master her power in the dream world, she may finally have a chance against Lanfear. And finally, Moiraine's decision, whether to act or remain in the shadows, will determine the course of the war itself. The wheel weaves as the wheel wills, and the battle for the fate of the world is only just beginning. Final thoughts. As the Wheel of Time Season 3 moves toward its climax, Episode 7 will set to be a defining moment in the journey of Rand and its allies. The conflicts between the Forsaken, the struggles of the main characters, and the looming threat of war are all converging, setting the stage for an explosive and unforgettable conclusion. With betrayals, power struggles, and impossible choices ahead, every character must decide where they stand and what they are willing to sacrifice for the fate of the world. As the final episodes approach, the tension will only escalate, leading to a battle that will reshape the future of the Wheel of Time universe forever. The wheel weaves as it wills, and destiny is about to unfold.